and I am going to be filming this last TTC Level 6 lecture. This TTC program is the tarot training course that I am teaching, and these videos are all going to be added into one playlist. That way, if you're currently a student of Third Eye, or if you're not a student, you can access these lectures. You won't get all the class information in these videos. This will only just be the lecture part. And you know, if you miss a class or you want to re-listen to a lecture, this is a great opportunity for you to do so. And all of these will be put together into one playlist. So for this lecture, it's a little bit different here because this is the last of the 6 levels. This is the last class. So I have a lot of open-ended space here in level 6 just because I want to leave plenty of room for, you know, student discussion, and I have a lot more of the boot camp activities planned like we had in level 5, a lot more tarot sizes, and a lot of class discussion. So there really isn't a whole bunch of lecture space planned out for level 6. It's mostly a review, you know, so we would be basically reviewing the suits of each element: wands, swords, pentacles, cups. We would also, of course, be reviewing the major arcana, the Fool's Journey, kind of touching back on that. We would be reviewing the numerical values of the numerology that we learned. We would be reviewing the Royal Arcana and the 16 Myers-Briggs personality archetypes and how that kind of fits into the Royal Arcana. We would also be reviewing basic vocabulary that we learned in level 1. So there really isn't a set lecture for level 6, other than us kind of just touching back and, you know, reiterating certain elements that we've already been over, because this TTC program does have a final exam. The final exam is 20 questions plus a bonus question. Each question is worth 1 point, and the bonus question is worth 3 points. The test is pass or fail. So that means that you need to score a 17 or above in order to pass. So there's a possibility of 23 points total for the test. So I'll talk a little bit here on some of my lecture notes of what I have for level 6, and that's the suits. So wands are going to be the fire element, passion, spirit, creativity. You know, we've talked about a lot of this. Swords would be the element of air, the mind, communication, the intellect. Pentacles would be the element earth, the physical world, health and wellness, as well as like material possessions. And cups are the element water, of love, relationships, empathy, the heart. We're going to talk about complementary and contrasting elemental kingdoms here. Complementary suits are ones that complement each other, such as water and earth, or fire and air. And contrasting suits are suits that have conflict with each other, because we talked a little bit about the elemental kingdoms. So air and water typically are viewed as contrasting because that's the head and the heart, the mind and the heart, the brain and the heart, and then fire and earth. So if you have multiple of the same suit come up in a spread, that puts an extra influence on that elemental aspect. For instance, if you're doing a spread and you have all of these pentacles laid out on the table, chances are it's going to be a reading surrounding the element of earth, a very grounded, very practical reading, versus if you have something with a whole bunch of cups. That might be a very emotional reading, right? So paying certain attention to how many of each element you have on the table, and also what elements are side by side in a spread. If you have contrasting suits side by side in a spread, then that is adding that layer of conflict and depth to that reading. If you have, for instance, swords and cups side by side. However, if you have cups and pentacles side by side, you know, those two are complementary, because water heals and grows the earth. So think of it like the suits are like kingdoms, each having enemies and alliances. We're also going to be talking about the major arcana, and like I said, the Fool's Journey earlier, and kind of what that looks like, where he meets the magician first and bumps into this, you know, manifestation, birth, magical essence, and then bumps into the high priestess and the subconscious mind and the psychic abilities. You know, and eventually coming back to the world card, which is the collective unconscious. And we have a lot of practice sessions planned here because I want to make sure that all of the students are 100% prepared, confident, and ready to tackle this final exam. And some of the tarot sizes we have, I can't really share these in the video, but we have some really cool tarot sizes planned for this class. I wish I could share them on here, but I can't. I'm sorry, guys. And then also I'll be taking a chance to kind of talk to some of the students of Third Eye and the TTC program to talk about industry opportunities. So the world needs more skilled and compassionate readers. It just does. And that could be any person in my class, right? That could be any person who's taking my course online. That could be any person who is in my physical, tangible classroom. That could be all of my students. That could be one of my students. That could be none of my students. It really comes down to all the way back into level 1 when we were talking about what are our hashtag tarot goals, right? Doing this professionally is not for everyone. Some people might think that that's what they want to do, and then they kind of get into it and realize it's not for them. Some people, might not feel like they're ready for that yet. Some people might not really be interested and just want to use this more as a way of personal development. And that's totally fine. And I'm not trying to pressure or push anyone into, doing this kind of work. And you can take your journey in tarot reading as far as you want it to go. You can take this journey in tarot reading as far as you want it to go. If you want to keep this, casual, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with utilizing tarot as a personal tool for yourself. However, I will say that it is rewarding to give others the blessing and the insight of tarot. And you get to decide your own path when it comes to tarot and your own tarot ethics, like we were talking about in the last level. With the ethics of tarot, you can offer your readings by donation as a gift, or you could charge a set fee if you wanted to. This course, like I said, does have a final exam, and it is 20 questions long. The final exam is pass or fail, meaning that there is no percentage grade. If you fail the exam, do not worry, because that just simply means that you have more opportunity for improvement and growth still within the TTC program, and are not necessarily ready to advance further yet. And that's totally okay, because we are all on, different accelerated paths and journeys. And I was just talking about in the level 1 class that I was teaching last night that it took me 4 times to pass my driver's license test. So I'm a terrible test taker. So, if you take this final exam and you don't pass it, that's not the end of the world. It just means that we really need to go over some more of the stuff, and you can always retake the exam. It's not like if you fail the exam, that's it and you're done. You can retake the exam if you don't do well your first time. And I understand that for some people, they are going to have a lot of test anxiety, and that's okay. We can go over some of the stuff that you missed, and you can retake it. And if you want, you can retake the TTC course later on, but that's not necessary what you have to do if that's not really what you want to do. If you just want to retake the course, you can retake the course too. Okay. Excuse me. If you fail the exam, like I said, don't worry. That just simply means that you have more room to improve your tarot skills and are not ready to advance further yet, and that's totally okay. Everyone progresses at their own pace, and do not fault or shame yourself or anyone else for their personal mileage. If you do pass the final exam for the TTC, you will be given a certificate stating that you have passed Third Eye Fortune's tarot training course, and you will have an opportunity to apply to work for Third Eye, if that is something that you are interested in. As the owner of Third Eye Fortunes, I am expanding the horizons and setting up booths at local and out-of-state festivals. Passing the test grants you the opportunity to put in your application if you are interested in working as a tarot reader. This opportunity could be for you. So I also have some pretty cool guest speakers set up for the classes that will also be offering their own wisdom and their own opportunities as well. And I am definitely going to talk about in this last level what is coming up ahead. So I am going to be doing another round of the TTC course in June. And I'm also going to be offering a cartomancy course in March. So the cartomancy course will be every Wednesday during the month of March from 7 p.m. till 8:30 at Spiritual Gardens. And I'm also going to be doing a palmistry course, and that'll be in April. So you can expect the next round of TTC to kick off in June. And then I'm also working on putting together an advanced tarot program. And that would be exclusively for the people who have already taken one round of the TTC course and passed the final exam. I'm working on putting together an advanced tarot program. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I kind of want to get some feedback before I put this class together. Right now, the current TTC class is at 18 people, I believe. So the advanced tarot course would be available for those 18 students who are in my physical classroom, as well as the handful of online students that I've had. So like I said, this is a super short lecture video because there's really not, we're talking about the industry opportunities. We're talking about the final exam. We're going to be doing a lot of tarot sizes. The whole first half of class is a lecture in tarot sizes. And activities to help, get those last minute student sessions in and student working together groups going. And we're going to be going over the basics of the suits, the complementary, the contrasting, elemental kingdoms, the major arcana, the royal arcana. But I also have kind of an open-ended space allotted here. That way, in case any of the students have questions or want to revisit something, we can do that too. So this is really it for the level 6 video. And for those of you who had followed this all the way through, you're great.